Coming up on Cardinals Insider, Little Mac is back in St. Louis.
To put this uniform on with the birds, it's extremely special in so many ways.
Plus, Lars Nootbaar says hello to a baseball legend.
Somebody that I've looked up to and kind of like an idol and a living legend.
And later, some fan favorites are set to join the Cardinals Hall of Fame. Those stories and more ahead on this week's Cardinals Insider. Hello and welcome to Cardinals Insider. I'm Ozzie Smith. We begin the show with heavy hearts. Recently, Cardinal Nation lost one of its great voices, and St. Louis lost a native son. Mike Shannon passed away at the age of 83. He spent 50 years in the Cards radio booth after serving as an important piece of the powerhouse 60s Cardinals. Let's begin today by remembering Mike.
This organization belongs to the fans. We just enjoy it.
Shannon cuts viciously at Bell's first pitch, and there it goes. It's a home run. Checks. Brummer stealing home. He is safe, and the Cardinals win. Brummer stole home. Borges pitched a no-hitter. It's the first time in the history of Cardinal baseball that a pitcher has two no-hitters.
Swing and a long one. There it is, folks. Baseball history. A second Grand Slam home run for Fernando Tatis. Swing and a home run. If it's fair, it is fair. And the Cardinals win it. Swing and a miss. The Cardinals are world champions for 2006. Get up, baby. Get up, get up, get up. At the wall. It's a two-run homer. Cardinals win it 4-3. Listen to this crowd.
We're here for a short period of time and enjoy it and try to enhance it in any way we can. And hopefully I've done that over the years. God bless you. Thanks.
Joe McEwing made his big league debut in 1998, hitting in the same lineup as Mark McGwire. Fans and media took to calling McEwing Little Mac. He's always had a soft spot for the organization that drafted him, and now he's back as Arlie Marmol's bench coach.
Definitely did not see the opportunity coming with everything being set as on the field staff side of it, and when Mo reached out and we had a conversation with Ollie right afterwards, and then we had a Zoom call, and everything just connected, aligned perfectly, and chance to go home,
He rips one to left field. Well hit. Henderson back. See you later. Number 8 for McEwing, and the Cardinals take the lead.
To get drafted by the Cardinals in 1992 and to put this uniform on with the birds, it's extremely special in so many ways. To see your dream come true of first getting drafted, then second to make it to the big leagues and see that dream come true. And then 31 years later, to be coming back home, it's extremely special. As coaches, you care more about the individual, you care more about the player than yourself. You want to see their dreams come true. You want to see them fulfill all their expectations and try to put them in the best position to be successful. When you have passion about teaching and passion about life, and you're able to get across to, because they know you care. They know that you care about them as individuals, as a player, on and off the field. And I think that's when you get the best out of every single individual, when you allow them to be their authentic self and rise. I'm extremely excited to see this play out from beginning to end, and while being present in the moment and enjoying each day, because it's one thing I'll never take for granted, that I'm blessed to have this uniform on, and I'm going to enjoy every moment of it.
After the break, David Eckstein tells some stories in the Cardinals Insider Podcast.
And I always thank David Freese for coming up in the ninth and then hitting the home walk-off, because he brought the love of the game back into me.
Get a sneak peek when we return. Lars Nootbaar has become a household name in Japan. The 25-year-old California native is 50% Japanese. That qualified him to play for Japan in the WBC. He won gold and has been a sensation in Asia ever since. Ichiro Suzuki also won gold with Team Japan years ago. He and Lars met when the Cardinals rolled through Seattle last month.
Being able to meet Ichiro was huge for me. Somebody that I've looked up to and kind of like an idol and a living legend, obviously, and coming off the WBC win, being able to go back to Japan and then meeting somebody that's meant so much to them and a former WBC champion, it's pretty cool. And to be able to get a signed jersey from him, is kind of the cherry on top. I went over there and didn't want to disappoint him or bring any sort of shame or whatever it is to any of those, legends that are there before. So to be able to win the gold and then be able to meet him and kind of have something in common with him was pretty cool.
David Eckstein only played in St. Louis for 3 years, but David is a Cardinal through and through. He not only won the World Series in 2006, but was the series MVP. He's a guest on this month's Cardinals Insider Podcast, and here's a little sample of what he talked about.
Cardinals Insider Podcast for May 2023. Joe and Larry will be along in just a minute. I'm Brett McMillan. We had a great chance to hear from Ozzie Smith and Adam Wainwright last month. We're thrilled today, though. The 2006 World Series MVP, David Eckstein, is here in studio with us. Does that ever get old, hearing that?
It doesn't. It doesn't. It's one of those things that, since I've retired, coming up and hearing that, and everyone kind of refers to you as that, it's something very special.
And he's become a very important part of our alumni activities here recently, guys.
Huge. And, I think the perfect segue to your alumni experiences here is when we brought you back for Game 6, the 2011 World Series, and you threw out the first pitch that night.
The game of baseball is something that I've always loved. But as you play, you end up seeing a little bit of the backside of it, like the business aspect of it. And it was one of those things that, in 2010, the day before the season started, I went back to my wife. I said, hey, Ash, I think this is going to be my last year. And then during the season, I was actually on a rehab assignment. I was in a hotel room. I had made an error. The only error I made that year, the whole year. I didn't make any in the big league. And I'm like crushing myself. And I legitimately pick up the phone. I'm like, Ash, I'm done. I go, this error means absolutely nothing in this game, and it's killing me to the point where, all right, I'm giving them everything, but there wasn't as much in return on the other side, the loyalty back. And so, as I step away after 2010, I basically hid from the game because I had 3 contract offers to go play. I got called mid-season to come back and play. And I got called a week after the season ended and play. But I was just hiding from everybody. I didn't want to go. My brother was a major league hitting coach. I didn't go watch one of his games, did not show up in person. I did get called to throw out a first pitch in Anaheim because it was the 50th year celebration. So I did do one game late, I think it was September. I threw out one pitch and stuff like that. But it was one of the things I just hide. And then I got the call to say, if we go to a Game 6, will you be available? I said, of course I'd be available. And so I had the opportunity to come out and throw out the first pitch for Game 6. But more importantly, I had the opportunity to go sit up in the stands. And we got to go up in the suite. And being able to sit up in the suite, watching down, and then watching what David Freese did. That 9th inning comeback. The ball he hits right off the glove of Nelson Cruz, all of a sudden the game's tied when you think that, they've lost the World Series. And then he comes up and hits the big home run to win the game. And just standing up there watching the fans cheer and watching why the game is so important to me, why this game is what it is, and it brought the little kid back in me. And I promised from that point on that I would never let the business side of the game affect how much I love this game. And I always thank David Freese for coming up in the ninth and then hitting the home walk-off, because he brought the love of the game back into me.
Watch Eckstein's full interview on YouTube or listen anywhere you get your podcasts, including cardinals.com/podcast. But for now, stay with us. There's much more after the break. Three men will be inducted into the Cardinals Hall of Fame this August. We'll have in-depth profiles of each later this summer. But for now, here's a look at who they are and why they're getting a red jacket.
Cardinals Hall of Fame Day is always a highlight of the summer, but this particular induction will be featuring some fan favorites. The headliner is St. Louis's own David Freese. He's the fan vote this season, propelled into Cardinal Nation's hearts by one of the best postseasons ever, and by one of the most iconic moments in baseball history.
Freese hits it in the air to center. We will see you tomorrow night.
Jose Oquendo has been a fixture since 1986, first as a player, then as a coach.
A drive into deep left field. Back goes Leonard. Gone!
Cheo, as he's known to the players, heads to the Hall as the organizational pick, joining his former manager and several teammates from those famous 80s Cards teams. The Red Ribbon selection is pitcher Max Lanier. He spent 12 years with the Cardinals, including 3 World Series championships in the 1940s. He has the 8th best ERA in Cardinals history, posting a 2.84 over 277 appearances. He's also tied for 7th all-time in shutouts among Cardinals hurlers. Freese, Oquendo, and Lanier will be inducted on Sunday, August 20th. For Cardinals Insider, I'm Emily Stevens.
Matthew Liberatore made his big league debut last season. He's back at AAA Memphis to start the year, but he's pitching well, going 3-1 with a sub-3 ERA through his first 5 starts. Those numbers make him the subject of this week's Bear Farm Report.
I think since I was a little kid, I've wanted to win a World Series. So getting a taste of the big leagues means that I'm that much closer to that being a reality.
There's a 1-2 pitch by Matthew Liberatore. Swing and a miss. Challenged him with a fastball.
I'd say kind of the guy that's had the biggest impact on my entire career so far. John Heisinger, the guy that I've worked with as a pitching coach and mentor of mine since I was 11 years old.
0-2 pitch to Navarreto, breaking ball, swing and miss, strike 3. Look at the runner at first in Gonzalez, deliver the 3-2, paints it on the corner, strike 3.
I think the camaraderie is kind of a given for everybody. Everyone likes meeting people and the friends that you make along the way, but for me, the competition aspect to it is what I love the most.
When we return, find out why every day is now Taco Tuesday at Busch Stadium.
Nationwide, there's a move for, local restaurants and family restaurants to be in the ballpark, which is great.
That's right after the break. Mission Taco Joint has become an institution of the St. Louis culinary scene. They have locations all across town, and their newest one is right here at Busch Stadium.
Mission Taco is a must-try spot in St. Louis. Brothers Jason and Adam Tilford brought foodies a different take on tacos when they opened their first location 10 years ago in the Del Mar Loop. Now they're bringing their fresh food to Busch Stadium, and fans are here for it.
So we're excited to come to the ballpark because nationwide there's a move for, local restaurants and family restaurants to be in the ballpark, which is great. We're going to do a fun twist on the corn here at the stadium. Instead of off the cob and tossed up with the sauce, it's going to be traditional on the cob. It's going to have a little side of hot sauce, and you'll be able to sit at your seat and eat it with a beer or margarita and just enjoy the game.
Me and my girlfriends got out for a day of fun. Today we got a mix, and we decided we all like all of the Mission Taco options. So we mixed it up. We got some of the hard tacos with the beef. I think that's like their traditional. We got shrimp with this awesome mango salsa. And then we also got the hot chicken and then the nacho fries. and they were awesome.
We're excited to be here, and it's great.
Each spring, the Cardinals invite school kids to Busch Stadium for Weather Day. It's a one-of-a-kind learning experience that teaches kids about what's outside their window. This year, the event featured the Cardinals' new weather partner, St. Louis TV station Fox 2 News. Check it out.
We are so glad that you are here at Weather Day. Let's do some science. Sometimes when that water vapor warms and rises, it creates a cloud. So we had this great idea, let's create a cloud.
Whoa! Our heat from our flame is going to create a convection current.
Right into there, and we'll see if you can create a thunderstorm wind. Happy Weather Day! Thank you so much for being here!
When we return, I'm answering one of your questions. It's Ask Ozzie, and it's up next.
All right, everyone. We need some Cardinal theme ticket ideas. We need them fast.
Don't we already have the best theme tickets?
Like teacher's night and college night.
A racing night?
It's all on cardinals.com/theme.
This whole meeting could have been a letter.
It's time for this week's Ask Ozzie. Carson in Bloomfield, Missouri asks, what was your favorite thing to do in the clubhouse before and after games? Well, Carson, before the game, I would always come in, especially at the beginning of a new series, sit down and start reading scouting reports. We get a scouting report that comes in just before a new series starts. So I would spend a lot of time going over the scouting report, trying to figure out what my positioning was. And after the game, it was get as much to eat as I possibly could because it was usually a long day. We get to the ballpark probably about 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and eating becomes a very important part of keeping yourself healthy during the season. Clubhouse spreads weren't that good in the 80s, but if we had one of those long nights or one of those hot days, getting any type of nutrition was going to suffice, and these guys have to decide what meal they're not going to eat. Eating became a very important part for all of us during the 80s because we played, especially during the day. It got pretty hot on the AstroTurf and stuff, so nutrition was an important part of our success. Thanks for the question, Carson. If you want to submit a question, head on over to cardinals.com/insider or click the Ask Ozzie tab. But for now, don't go anywhere. There's more Cardinals Insider when we return. Our final segment has a Mother's Day theme. For this week's Ask a Cardinal, we wanted to know what the players appreciate about their moms.
Oh man, I appreciate everything. She's done so much for me. Every single day, she was putting food on the table for us. She was picking us up and dropping us off at sports games. She's my best friend, and I'm her best friend too.
My mom's very intense, and that's probably where I get my intensity from, is from my mom's side. My mom doesn't like finishing second in anything. She likes to get things done. And that's something that I think I got from her, is making sure I get things done and do it the right way.
I appreciate her positivity and her drive. She stays on me about anything from, getting my roof fixed to taxes, or, I have a bad day, I can call her and she just makes everything better, and she's just my #1 fan, and I can't imagine doing this without her.
I've seen what hard work looks like from her. Like just the hours she puts in, she was working from 8 a.m. till 8 p.m. Sometimes later than that. Sometimes she'd be in the office, sometimes it'd be sitting in her car working. It was like nonstop dedication to whatever she does, she's all in it.
You don't realize it when you're a kid, but all the work that goes on behind the scenes, all the sacrifice that my mom did and my wife does now, you can appreciate it, with this new perspective.
She's the best, she supports me and our brothers. She's always been there. She does a lot for us, she's the glue to our family. Just wouldn't be where we are without her as a family. We love her.
I wouldn't be here today without my mom. I honestly can't say enough. But the biggest thing to me is sacrifice. When I started out playing and going through life, my mom pretty much sacrificed everything to make sure that I was always set up for success. That devotion to my career starting at, age 5 in T-ball. My mom, there's no difference between a T-ball game at 5 years old compared to a big league game at 28.
She's got my back in any situation, sacrificed everything for me coming up. She's the best. I love her, and thankfully I have a mom like my mom to model what parenthood should look like, and it's a great situation we had.
My mom just had to work really hard, and showed us what hard work really looks like. Having as many kids as I have now and seeing all the activities that go on different sides of everything, and that go on at the same time. We never wanted, and we never didn't get to do any of the opportunities. My brother and I both, we were able to do all the things we wanted to do, and I don't know how she managed that by herself. That's amazing.
I tell my mom she's a superhero, so she's always there for me, and if you're seeing this, Mom, I love you.
That's it for this episode. You can always catch us online at cardinals.com/insider or watch full episodes on YouTube. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you right back here next week.